Welcome to the future of factory automation. This program is a broadcast of a Japanese podcast that has been translated into English using Notebook LM. Today, we're diving deep into the core strengths, the real characteristics of the major Japanese programmable logic controller manufacturers, PLCs.
That's right. We've got this translated audio source, and it's got insights from someone who's clearly spent time working directly in this field.
Yeah, and the idea is to really get a feel for the key players in Japanese factory automation. Sort of a quick way to understand what makes each one stand out.
Going beyond just the marketing blurbs, trying to uncover their, let's say, unique advantages and market positions.
Exactly. So let's start with the elephant in the room, Mitsubishi Electric. The source says they have something like 50 to 60% market share in Japan. That's huge.
It really is, and that massive share, well, it creates its own momentum, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, think about it. So many factories already use Mitsubishi PLCs. That means there's this enormous installed base. And because of that, you have a huge number of engineers, technicians, maintenance staff all across Japan who are already familiar with their systems. Finding experienced personnel is just easier.
Right. Familiarity. That makes training simpler, support more readily available.
Precisely, and that builds trust over time. The source even had that little anecdote, didn't it, about the boss?
Yeah, the one who just trusts Mitsubishi for safety, kind of based on reputation and long experience, even if it's just word of mouth.
Exactly. It shows how deep that trust runs. And there's another effect of that market share.
What's that?
Device manufacturers, people making sensors, motors, drives, you name it.
Yeah.
They have to prioritize making their stuff work well with Mitsubishi PLCs.
So Mitsubishi becomes the default compatibility target. Everyone needs to play nice with them.
You got it. It creates this whole ecosystem that kind of revolves around them. Plus, they're a massive company, huge capital resources, large workforce. That helps too.
So strong support network, big resources, established trust, deep local knowledge.
It's a powerful combination. Now, the source did sort of hint that maybe, just maybe, they aren't always the very first to adopt every single brand new cutting-edge feature.
Yeah.
But their strength isn't necessarily about being first with everything. It's about that overall presence, the reliability, the ecosystem. It's often seen as the safe bet.
Makes sense. So the dominant leader. Okay, let's shift gears then. What about Omron? What's their key differentiator according to the source?
The big thing for Omron, the source really emphasized this, is that they have their own sensor technology in-house.
Oh, interesting. And the source contrasted that with Mitsubishi.
Yeah, and mentioned Mitsubishi doesn't really have that same in-house sensor development capability, and this gives Omron a specific advantage.
Which is, how does owning sensor tech help their PLC business?
It lets them really excel in motion control. Because they design the sensors and the drives and the controllers, they can create these tightly integrated systems.
Okay, so the components are designed to work together from the start.
Exactly. They can optimize the whole loop sensor, feedback, drive response, controller logic much more effectively. Think high-speed, high-precision movement.
Right. Like the example given about integrating cameras and servos seamlessly over EtherCAT.
Precisely that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They can offer these very synchronized, high-performance motion solutions. It's less about individual component specs and more about the performance of the whole system.
So it's a different approach than Mitsubishi. Omron's offering a more complete integrated motion package.
You could say that they're strong at that sort of maybe system level or solution layer, especially for advanced motion. But, the source also pointed out that not every application needs that level of sophisticated motion control.
True. For simpler tasks, maybe it's overkill or adds complexity you don't need.
Could be perceived that way, yeah. The source also mentioned Omron is strong in safety products, which again benefits from integrating sensors and logic effectively.
Okay, so Omron sensors leading to strength in integrated motion and safety solutions. Got it. Now, Keyence, they always seem a bit different.
Keyence is definitely interesting. The source basically paints them as a powerhouse in sales and marketing. Their commercial strength is, well, legendary.
And they have that rapid late mover advantage. What does that mean exactly? Sounds like a contradiction.
Yeah, it does a bit. But the idea is they aren't usually the ones doing the really early fundamental R&D. They wait
Wait for what?
They wait until a market need is really clear, really well defined. They look for those triggers, and then they move very, very quickly to deliver a product that hits that specific need perfectly.
Okay, so they identify proven demand and then execute incredibly fast to meet it. They're not inventing the category, but they're mastering fulfillment.
That's a good way to put it. And the source mentioned their sensors are often OEM.
Right, sourced from other manufacturers.
Yes. Correct. Their real skill isn't necessarily in the making from scratch, but in identifying what's needed, ensuring it's reliable, and then having this incredibly potent sales and marketing machine to get it to customers.
So hyper-responsive to market needs with reliable products and fantastic sales. The source suggested system integrators and factories needing proven, available solutions really like them.
Exactly. If you need something reliable that solves a known problem now, Keyence is often a go-to. They excel at that delivery.
Okay, makes sense. Next up, Yaskawa Electric. What's their story?
Yaskawa's heritage is definitely motion control, deep roots there, especially with their own network, Metrotrolink.
Right, the source said Metrotrolink was world-leading for a time.
It was, yeah. A very capable motion control communication protocol. They built a lot of strength around that.
Right.
And they're still strong in motion.
I sense a but coming.
How the landscape changed, didn't it? EtherCAT.
Ah, the open standard.
Yeah. EtherCAT emerged as this really high-performance, widely adopted alternative, and that, well, it inevitably chipped away at the unique advantage Metrotrolink gave Yaskawa.
So the playing field leveled somewhat. Their proprietary edge wasn't quite as sharp anymore.
Something like that.
Huh.
So their challenge now, according to the source, is figuring out how to best compete in a world where EtherCAT is so prevalent.
And the source also threw in that note about Panasonic maybe having the edge on raw servo motor specs currently.
Yeah, that detail was mentioned. So Yaskawa, strong motion legacy, facing the challenge of adapting to the rise of powerful open standards like EtherCAT.
Okay, let's talk Panasonic then. Their angle seems quite strategic.
It does. Apparently they started more with smaller PLCs, but the really interesting part is how they're using their battery technology expertise.
Their battery tech. How does that connect to PLCs?
They're leveraging it for advanced motion control, specifically in battery manufacturing applications.
Wow, okay. That's smart. Using their strength in one area to boost another in a really hot market battery production.
Yeah, exactly. And the source mentioned their GM1 motion controller. It's based on CODIS.
A standard platform.
Right, but they've added their own advanced motion functions on top, like electronic cams and things.
And like Omron, they also have their own sensor tech.
Yep, the source highlighted that too. So Panasonic kind of has this double advantage. Sensor tech and advanced motion control capabilities, plus that specific focus using their battery know-how.
And they're expanding into larger PLCs too, right? Not just small ones anymore.
That's what the source indicated. So they seem to be building strength on multiple fronts. Sensors, advanced motion, specific application focus, and broadening their product range makes them one to watch.
Definitely. Now, the source also rattled off a few other names quickly. Yokogawa, Hitachi, JTK.
Fuji Electric, IDES, Aatech, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries too.
Right. Not much detail on them in the audio, it seems.
No, the focus was really on those bigger players we discussed, but just listing them out like that really drives home the point about how many PLC makers there are in Japan.
It's quite different from Europe, where you mainly hear about Siemens and Beckhoff, maybe some CODIS-based systems.
Exactly. The source contrasted that, pointing out how many Japanese companies have their own unique architectures, whereas Europe has consolidated more around PC-based control and platforms like CODIS.
And the source linked this density of Japanese PLC makers to the strength of the Japanese auto industry.
Yeah, suggesting that a strong domestic manufacturing base, like automotive, naturally fosters a rich ecosystem of local automation suppliers. Makes sense, right?
It does. And there was also a mention of CODIS gaining traction, especially in China.
The idea being that the demand for CODIS, driven partly by markets like China, might push some of the smaller Japanese PLC makers to adopt it more for international business. That could be an interesting trend.
So before we wrap up, the expert in the source audio gave their own perspective, emphasizing these were observations, not gospel truth.
Right, and they stress the importance of actually talking to the engineers at these companies to really get the inside scoop on their priorities.
Good point. Field intelligence.
And also that everyone's constantly trying to improve everywhere. Just because someone is strong in area A today doesn't mean they won't be stronger in area B tomorrow, or that a competitor won't catch up. It's always shifting.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's quickly recap the main threads. Mitsubishi, market dominance, the power of the installed base, trust, and the ecosystem effect.
Omron, leveraging in-house sensors for integrated motion and safety solutions. Very system-focused.
Keyence, masters of rapid market response, identifying needs and fulfilling them quickly with strong commercial execution.
Yaskawa, the motion control veteran, strong legacy with Metrotrolink, now navigating the EtherCAT era.
And Panasonic, emerging force, combining sensor tech, advanced motion, leveraging battery expertise, and broadening their offerings.
That sums up the core strengths pretty well based on our source. But again, these are just snapshots.
For sure. So for you listening, when you're thinking about factory automation in Japan or looking at these companies, keep these underlying strengths and strategies in mind. See if you can spot them at trade shows or in their product info.
Which leads to maybe a final thought to chew on. With manufacturing getting more global and open standards like EtherCAT becoming more common, how will these Japanese giants, each with their unique history and strength, need to adapt to stay ahead on the world stage?
Good question. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Posting 200 daily episodes. Please follow and comment.